Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be discussing Tank Roach rematch confirmed, Devin Haney's hit list, and Errol Spence Jr. returns again. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the video. How is everybody doing today? Listen, I don't know if y'all could tell, but I've been a little bit distant lately from the channel and everything that's going on. It's my husband's birthday weekend, so we actually been celebrating all weekend. So I'm only going to be on here today real quick for maybe about an hour. I did not want to skip my show today. Boxing is kind of slow, but it is a few things going on that we could chit chat about. So Tank Roach rematch has now been confirmed. August 16th, I believe. Somebody said they seen it on TikTok. I don't be on TikTok. I'm not a TikToker. People was like, oh, 2 cents, you got to get you a page on TikTok. You got to do 2 cents on TikTok. And I'm like, I don't know what it is about TikTok, but it seems like it's a lot going on. I'm more of an Instagram Reels type of person. I think I'm kind of too old for the TikTok. But my mama be on TikTok. So I don't know. She be on there shopping on TikTok with the little TikTok shop things they be having going on. So it is what it is though. But fight officially announced, and I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about the rematch like that. I mean, it's almost as if they can't find anything like negative to say. They're not going to talk about it. Because what can you say negative about the rematch, right? Besides, you think Tank might lose. But that's not even negative. That's just your opinion. He had a competitive fight. He didn't perform the way people usually see him perform. He jumping right into an immediate rematch. They got all the negotiations and everything planned. And now we just waiting on the fight. So now what are we hearing talks about? What are we hearing talks about? Oh, he fired Calvin. Calvin ain't his trainer. Here we go with the trainer thing. What I tell you, once the fight get announced, I gotta go back and clip the part where I gave the blueprint of what they do every time Tank fight. Because here we go. The fight announced. Now we're on the trainers. Every time he have a fight, it's the same things. They don't really want to make the fight. They don't have enough money to pay him. Tank don't want the fight because they not paying them enough. PBC broke. They ain't got the money. Boom, fight get made. Fight get made. Oh, Tank firing Calvin. Calvin and Tank ain't on good terms. That he working with this coach. He working here. He working there. He da da da. We finna have to go through the trainer thing. So instead of that, let's celebrate fight coming up. Can't wait. Highly anticipated rematch. They want to talk about Jake Paul. They want to talk about the way the man dressed. I just seen a post from Rick Glazier. I'm not gonna be able to pull it up on my. Let me see. Hold on, because I gotta go to my other account to pull it up because Rick Glazier has me blocked on 2 cents. But I just seen Rick Glazier put up a post and put a one in the chat if y'all know what I'm talking about, or put a link in the chat so I can pull it up to show people what I'm talking about. And it's a post of Gervonta Davis dressed in his chrome hearts, dressed like a rock star, like he in a rock band. He got all this stuff on, a belt, he's sagging, boots, a bag. It's just like the fashion of the kids today. I mean, dress nice, I dress decent. I wouldn't say like I'm just super fashionable, but I could dress. But I'm looking at the pictures like he got a backpack on, he got a bag in his hand, he got a belt on, he got one of the little chains on his belt, he got his chains on, he got a hat on. He dressed like how these kids dressing with the wide shirts that like look short. Somebody say GTD ain't a kid. Well, compared to me, right? Well, he's a grown man. You know how these young adults and these young kids be dressing. And so Rick Glazier found himself to come on the internet and say, this is what Rick Glazier decided to say. You don't have to wonder why American fighters can't get sponsors and or endorsements. And Tank's definitely not the face of boxing. So I'm reading this from Rick Glazier, and I'm like, what is he talking about? You don't have to wonder why American fighters can't get sponsors. How does he know that Gervonta Davis can't get sponsors? How does he know that? And if I'm not mistaken, isn't Gervonta Davis sponsored by the Chrome Hearts, the brand that he's wearing right now? The brand that he's wearing right now and has been wearing, putting it on his trunks, ain't that a brand that he's endorsing and is sponsored by? So what is Rick Glazier even talking about? What is Rick Glazier even? He's clearly in. He probably posted the picture to show the brand that he's endorsing. Rick, like Rick just be coming on here saying anything. Rick Glazier comes. I've showed y'all several instances. And if y'all don't believe me, I can pull it up again. Where Rick Glazier is contradicting the hell out of himself, showing that he's just saying anything. He's just saying anything. Now, when people come after Rick, you don't have to wonder why American fighters can't get sponsorships. No, I'm wondering why they can't get sponsorships. Because he has one. He's endorsing the brand that he has on right now, the Chrome Hearts. He's doing it right now. This man ain't doing nothing. He didn't do nothing but take a picture. I don't know why he got so many bags. Like, as a man, what are you carrying? Why do men be having so many bags? Like, what are y'all carrying? I mean, I get it, you got your wallet, your phone charger, but what else are y'all carrying? You got extra clothes, shoes? I don't understand. But I just wanted to point that out and bring that up. Like, it was just you was trying to take a shot at Tank when you really just made yourself look goofy. You trying to take a shot about his sponsorship when he's literally in the picture with the brand that he's sponsoring or endorsed by, whatever type of arrangement that they got going on, the Chrome Hearts. How you don't know that? Why are we not talking about no other fighters' endorsements? It just don't make no sense. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out how ridiculous Rick Glazier sounded. Shout out to Creo, the traveler, with the $5 in the super chat. He says 2 cents boxing. Shout out Creo. So I'm curious. We're gonna have a conversation today. We've been talking about the Tank, y'all. We've been talking about the Zapata Shakur Stevenson fight coming up. We've been talking about the Canelo Terrence Crawford fight coming up. Let's talk about the Tank Roach fight coming up. Been announced today, confirmed. Coming up in August. Coming up in August. Some people believe that Tank didn't look any different in that fight. He performed like he like boxing hacker. I mean, Tank performed like he normally does. Roach was just ready for him. Okay. Well, we'll see how ready he is the next fight. Shout out to all things in the building. What up? Big Block, what's going on? Mr. Shelton in the building. Cornelius, what up? Nick Small. Did I say that right? Someone say he wears the same underwear as Lotto. Okay. Laugh out loud. People was trolling Tank about this yesterday. So dude called him cute and said I was giving you a compliment, King. Tank was spazzing out. I was dying. Crazy. Shout out Jab Queen Boxing in the building. Thrill Hill in the building. Hey, listen, y'all punch that like and subscribe button. I'm dropping the link early today because, like I told y'all, I'm finna be on here late today for a long time. Roach might beat him next fight, actually. What are the keys to victory for Lamont Roach, boxing hacker? For him to beat Javante Tank Davis. It's pronounced No Moss Mall. Okay, No Moss Mall. Schwitzer Shelton say, in my opinion, who has his number, Roach wins the rematch. Okay. All them letters to spell no. That's crazy. That's crazy work. Jack Queen Boxer say Roach ain't beating shh. Honestly, I don't see Lamont Roach beating Tank. I felt like Tank could have beat Roach the first time. I don't know what the hell he was doing. But if Javante just box him, it ain't gonna be nothing Lamont Roach can do. It wasn't until Tank stopped using his lateral movement and he came in and started exchanging with Lamont Roach and he was getting countered that Lamont Roach had any success. So all Tank you have to do is not do that, not fight like that. I mean, it's not that hard. It may be a quote unquote boring fight. He may not get a KO, which I think he's gonna knock him out because he was getting some good body work in. When he was boxing in the beginning of that fight, moving lateral, it wasn't nothing Lamont Roach could do. It wasn't until Tank started standing in front of him and exchanging with him, fighting right in front of him inside the pocket, that Roach started having that Roach started having any success. So I see a few ways that Javante Tank Davis could probably win this rematch. I don't see The way this is the thing. The way Roach could win the fight is Tank would have to do something a certain way for Roach to be able to get his offense off. That's how Roach could win the fight. So if the way Roach, in my opinion, can win a fight is depending on the way Tank fights, I think Tank has a better chance of winning the fight. But people won't say that they can appreciate Tank going into another tough fight with an opponent that could possibly beat him. He's taking on the challenge. They rather say and be mad about him fighting Jake Paul, a fight that nobody knows about. Clearly sound like Jake is trolling, and ain't nobody made no announcement. But that's what we're gonna talk about today. I probably dropped the link in about 10 minutes. So I think Tank can KO him. But if Tank wants to run with Jake Paul next, then I'm rooting for Roach. See what I'm saying? What does the Roach fight? No, no Moss. No Moss. What does the Roach fight have to do with him fighting Jake Paul? Like, I don't understand. What does it have to do with anything? Marlon says patience, control the pace while Tank not in rhythm. Tank not a fast starter. He's a slow starter. It's very possible Lamont can win the rematch. Okay, patience and control the pace. That's gonna be a this might be a boring fight, y'all. This might be a boring fight. Tank using his lateral movement, boxing around, pop out, getting in, getting out. Not standing in there going exchanging, going back and forth, not giving Lamar Roach the opportunity to counter. It could be a boring fight. And Tank, you may get the opportunity to see Tank really display his boxing skills, which is what I thought he was going to do in the last fight. Which is why I was saying people can't definitively say that Tank is just gonna knock out Lamar Roach because you don't know if he's gonna go in there and box him. And it's seeming like he may need to go in there and box him for this next fight. And then you will be able to get to see Javante's boxing skills. That's what I thought he was going to do the first fight, which is what he was doing at the beginning of the fight. But then it's like, he was like, forget this. I'm just going to go in here for the kill. Shout out KQKC Boxing Network in the building. No Ma say, why everyone speculating Tank and Jake? If Roach beats him, hopefully it will have Tank considering retirement. I don't know why everyone is speculating Tank and Jake. But why would he have to retire if Roach beats him? Like, do y'all just be saying, like, I don't be understanding. Like, how did you, if Roach beat Tank, he should retire? I don't understand that logic. Could you explain it to me? I wish Tank was as confident in himself as you are in him, 2 cents. How is Tank not confident in himself and he's going immediately into the rematch? He's about to fight him again. So how is he not confident in himself? He's literally about to fight him in August. When Tank make a boring fight, I want to see what the Haney fans say. Oh, you know they're gonna have a lot to say. Shout out to Boxing Hacker with the $5 in the super chat. Why would we appreciate Tank for taking a rematch? Roach was a 25-1 underdog. Roach is the one getting the props for the rematch, not Tank. Boxing Hacker, that don't even make no sense what you just said, bro. That made absolutely no sense. Tank needs to do what he did in the first 7 rounds of the fight and box the F out of Roach. That's what I just said, NHA2. That's exactly what I just said. I'm glad we agree. Shit was a thing of beauty. But some folks call that boring when it's not their favorite fighter. Shout out NHA2. But that's what I said. It might be a boring fight. It might be a boring fight. He might have to go in there and box around. But I think that body work that he was putting on Roach, if he go in there and put that body work on Roach and box around, he could definitely get him in the later rounds and get a stoppage. NHA, where you been? Jab Queen Boxing say, hey, where you been? Yeah, I don't understand what Boxing Hacker meant. We're giving Roach credit for the rematch. Roach can't make the rematch. Tank had to say, "Okay, we finna do this rematch." So I don't even know what that how that even makes any sense. And I don't know why you keep going to the betting odds about somebody being a 25-1 underdog as if the fight didn't happen. You seen the fight. You seen that obviously they underestimated Roach. But instead of you saying that, you're gonna go all the way and jump to some stuff like some 25-1 odds after you've seen the fight. Obviously, if people think Roach is going to win the rematch, he's a better fighter than everybody thought. Correct? People think Roach can win, so that means that those odds was obviously off. That's what that means. So that logic that it don't make any sense. 32 ninjas all up in here and only 20 likesmanship. Sitting wrong with your manners. Who raised you ninjas? Y'all make sure y'all punch that like button. No more sleepwalking. Say betting odds don't mean ish. And it's just like they like to go to just anything that they could possibly use. Like, oh, the betting odds. I've never been discussing a fight and been like, the betting odds was like, what does that even matter? They just got the betting odds off. Vegas mess up on betting odds all the time. What does that mean? Yeah, you don't give the person props for fighting an underdog. Where do they do that at? Boxing hacker, you're not making no sense, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. What's up, Fresh 313? What's up, Fresh 313? So I'm about to drop the link so we can have a discussion about this Tank Roach fight because people saying Roach got Tank number. And I don't know. He may not. Just like NHA Tube said, if he boxing like he was, them first 7 rounds, I don't see what Roach gonna do. Mr. Blue in the building, but he was proven to be not such of an underdog. That's what I'm saying, Mr. Blue. You seen the fight, but instead of you acknowledging the fact that you seen the fight with your own eyes, right? You think Roach got Tank number and Roach could beat Tank in the rematch, but yet you go back and say he was a 25-1 underdog. Like as if that's relevant right now. That's not even relevant. It's not even relevant. That's the reason you have the fights to see what will happen, not to speculate. Roach can do nothing with Tank long as he box. Then let the KO come. That's what I'm saying. Do that body work, box. He out of there. He out of there. NHA 2 ball as well. I missed your hating ass. Hey, shout out paid in full. People say be patient. Control the fight. Somebody said that those are the keys to victory for Lamont Roach, but Lamont Roach didn't control the first fight. He was countering Tank. He wasn't controlling the fight. Foot speed, hand speed, boxing IQ, and ability. Tank has the advantage. Tank has the advantage. Okay. Tank gonna get his A whooped. Mr. Shelton, what fight was you just wrong about? That wasn't you, Keyshawn and Barinchek, because that was Tony Reviews that was dead ass wrong about that fight. Mr. Shelton, what fight was you just wrong about? I can't even remember right now. I seen um Tevin Farmer and Schofield might be fighting. What y'all think about that fight? Tank got problems on his hands. Bad style matchup. Go fight Jake Paul. Why is it a bad style matchup, Mr. Too Rich? I know you. I know you finna break it down. Why? Let me drop the link. This gonna be listen. This is a conversation about the fight. I don't want to talk about no Jake Paul. None of that. No Jake Paul been confirmed. None of that. They fighting on Jake Paul June 28th undercard. Oh, okay, okay. Well, Tevin Foreman getting all the fights now, ain't he? Marlon say, honestly, I don't see Lamont getting KO'd. He took Tank best shots and kept going 2 cents. I see it going to the cards again. But that's what I was saying, Marlon. If Tank, because Tank was doing a lot of body work. If he do more body work throughout those rounds, I think he could get a later stoppage. Shout out Aiden Ford and Boxing Hacker on the panel.
What's up, 2 Cent?
What up, Aiden Ford? What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Uh, I don't, I don't understand I don't understand what people keep seeing. Like, I don't understand how Roach even came close to winning that fight. I done watched the fight over like 6 or 7 times now, and I couldn't give Roach more than like 5 rounds. But Tank just need to go ahead and have his focus and stuff together, bro. I don't really think he got too much to worry about. I don't think Roach can hurt him in any way. I mean, he did catch him with a counter, but Tank did come back in that with that same round and was landing shots as well. So um, I'm just
Let
interested
me ask
in
you a
hearing that.
question. Let me ask you a question, Paid Fool. You said you
Right.
watched like this. Shout out Mr. Shelton in the building. Okay, shout out Dr. Boxing Talk in the building. Y'all make sure y'all go sub to Dr. Boxing Talk, Common
Yeah,
Sense Boxing
he's
Talk. So it was Tank outboxing Roach at the beginning of the fight. At any point in that fight, did it look like Roach was in control of that fight?
not at all. Not at all.
Yes.
Not only time that Roach started having success is when Tank stood in the pocket with him.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah, that's the only time he had success. But when Tank was moving, Roach Roach is a pure counter puncher. I'm gonna just say that when Tank is in the pocket, that's when Roach can land his shots. Outside of that, Roach is not a good mover on the front foot. I didn't see him bringing a fight to Tank. I mean, I thought Tank
So
was
y'all
more so
say
taking a
Tank got
fight
the
to him.
IQ, right? Y'all say Tank got a good boxing IQ, right?
Absolutely.
So if you having success moving, why you stop moving and go in the pocket?
Because
What
he
you
really go
mean?
in there and
To
try.
make it a fight? What do you mean? He ain't the type of person
Isn't
that
the
just gotta
hold
sit
on,
there.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Don't get so excited.
I'm
Isn't
not.
the
The fuck?
object to win the fight? Isn't the object to win the fight?
It depends on who you are.
Exactly. But
Shout
if you can
out
go for
Fight
the
Game
knockout, why
in the.
not go for the
Hold
So
on, let
knockout?
me get this.
why would you surrender your advantage when clearly you
To
at a
go for the
disadvantage in the
knockout.
pocket?
To go
Because
for
he
the
thought
knockout.
it wasn't
But wait a minute, hold on, slow down. Both of
Shelton.
y'all,
It's
you
not even
and
your
2 cents,
turn. Hold
you
on.
and 2 cents. Hold
I'm
on.
trying to
No,
get the
you hold
super
on, nigga.
chat,
This her
bro.
panel.
I'm trying to get the super chat.
Oh,
Relax.
go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Fight Game with the 4.99 in the building. Boxing Whacker is a effing hater. Soon as he get on the panel, I leave immediately. Boxing Whacker brings viewership down on any channel he gets on. F dude. Shout out Fight Game
Damn,
with the 4.99 in the super chat. Wow, Boxing Hacker, you really pissing folks off out
damn.
here.
Yeah,
That's
tell him
bad.
to talk
Man,
to his girlfriend.
Mr.
What
Too
the
Rich
hell?
need to go back and start looking at fights, bro, and stop being so damn
What's
biased.
reacting to
How
your
the fuck can you
girlfriend, buddy?
say
Now my
he
pet.
landed the harder punches when the copy box showed that he didn't land the harder punches, bro? Like, go on with that stupid end, bro.
Now here's my question. Why would you give up your advantage if clearly you at a disadvantage in the pocket? Why would you give up your advantage?
To go for the knockout.
Well,
It wasn't
it
like
should have been obvious after 9 or 10 rounds that you're not getting the knockout. So why don't you
How
go
do
back to
you
moving the
know?
boxing?
How do you know, bro? They was going back and
Because we
forth.
watched the fight.
He lost the
We
fight.
watched the nigga take a knee in the fight because he got hit with a
They didn't
jab.
count,
We
bro. It
watched
doesn't
that.
matter. They didn't count the knee, bro. Stop
we're
We
saying
not
that
don't
talking
care
shit.
about
about the
we don't
knee.
care if it counted or
We're
not.
not talking
We talking
about the
about
knee.
the way Roach was being effective, countering everything he was doing. So why would you not go back to boxing?
Oh my god.
Listen, this is what I'm telling you, Mr. Shelton. He
Okay, I'm
wasn't
listening.
necessarily he wasn't necessarily at a disadvantage in the pocket. He was just getting countered while he was in the pocket. So for you to say, why would he put himself at a disadvantage? He didn't put himself at a disadvantage. He put himself in range in the pocket, and he was getting countered more because Lamar Roach is a counter puncher. So that's what happened. And when that was
So
going
why
on,
would you continue to get countered? Why would you back up, start boxing?
All right, bro. Man, ain't no point of talking to niggas like that. It's like these niggas don't know shit about boxing, bro. Like they just say stupid shit.
No,
go ahead, Boxing
that's your
Hacker.
opinion. Hold on. That's your
Hold
opinion,
on, Mr.
and you
Shelton. Hold on,
entitled
the
to
panel
your
not
opinion.
open yet.
Your opinion don't
Hold
have
on,
to be my opinion, nigga.
all right.
That's cool.
Hold on, Mr. Shelton. Let me get Boxing Hacker. What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Hey, what's up, Two Cent? Hey, so when I said when it comes to people giving Tank props for like fighting a tough fight or taking a rematch with a tough competitor, you have to realize he's fighting the underdog. Tank is not the underdog in the situation. Lamar Roach is the underdog, right? So you don't say,
I'm
"Oh,
not
he's taking a
take
tough
the
fight."
rematch.
No, just
Because
logically,
they didn't
Tank was
know
supposed to.
him. People
No,
didn't
no,
know
no,
who
no, no.
Lamar
They
Roach was.
they knew who
Boxing
Lamar
Hacker.
Roach was. Let's not do
Boxing
No,
that.
they
Hacker.
They
Let
knew.
me
didn't.
say. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna let you say what you want to say, Boxing Hacker. But you
Yeah.
could jump through whatever hoops you want to jump through to try to discredit Tank for taking the rematch. But I'm just letting you know you sound
Yeah.
ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense
It,
what you're
there,
saying.
so let me explain. So when it comes to like uh somebody, it's not like Bivol versus Beterbiev, right? Bivol versus Beterbiev, you look at it, you say, wow, Bivol, is taking a tough rematch with like somebody who was 50-50 or even Beterbiev probably favorite to win. He's taking a tough fight and somebody who's like killing the ring. In Tank's situation, it's Tank. Tank
Bro,
is literally
regardless
the
of
bro.
Let
Hold
him
on, let
finish.
me talk.
Hold
Let me
on,
talk.
y'all.
Let me talk. Let
Please
me
don't
talk.
cut Boxing Hacker off. Let him finish. Go ahead.
Regardless, when it's Tank is was a 25-1 favorite. What Tank is doing, he's trying to, I guess, like reverse what happened because uh, uh to boxing pundits, like those two shouldn't even be in the ring together. You know what I mean? So when people
hey,
say
that's
he's
who.
taking a rematch, according to because you look at their stats, you look at all their stats. You're talking about a multi-division champion. You're talking about somebody who went to 140 and fought a beat like the regular champion versus
This,
somebody who has a loss on the record and
This guy,
only won one
oh my
title.
god,
So like
bro.
you look at all those
he
stats
just
This
showed
and
you he
nigga
somebody
don't
who has
know
a
belongs in the
shit,
ring,
98%
bro.
bro.
knockout rate. Wait.
He
This
You
just
look
nigga
at
think
showed
he's
somebody.
you he
comparing
belongs
apples
in
to
the ring.
oranges,
What are you
bro.
talking
I'm
about?
not
He
saying.
just showed
Wait.
you he belongs there.
Hold on. I'm not saying he doesn't belong there. What I'm saying when you look when those stats are there.
That is what
It's
you
not.
said,
It's
because you
not.
using the odds.
No, listen. You don't say, "Oh, he's taking." Y'all acting like Bival's reverse or Bival Materia fight again. No, one person wasn't. Let's look at not even being the same ring with the other person. To be honest, Lamar Roach probably gets more credit fighting Tank again than Tank gets for Lamar Roach.
Oh my
If we're just being
god.
honest, it's just
Right.
Because Tank is the favorite. What Tank is doing is just proving that he should be the favorite in that
Bro,
fight.
he's
That's
the
literally
favorite
what
to
he's doing.
everybody. What are
No,
you
he's
talking
not.
about?
No, but he's a huge favorite. It's not even close.
Hacker.
Yeah.
Tank has to
Mr.
take this
Shelton,
rematch. He can't let this
Short-
shit go the way it went.
Mr.
He
Shelton,
has
I'm
it's
to
not
your
take it.
saying
What are
turn.
you
What's
I'm
talking
your
not
about?
2 cents?
That's
I'm
just
not
like
saying he doesn't
that's
have
just
to.
like that's just
That
like
don't make
Devin
no
being a
sense,
that's just
Boxing
like
Hacker.
Devin being the favorite to Ryan. And we saw what happened in that fight. That all shit don't matter, bro.
So here again,
They're
All
betting
right.
odds for a reason.
yes, they're betting odds for a reason. However, when you say, "Oh, y'all should give there should be some kudos credit to Tank for rematching Lamar Roach," no, he's doing that for his own reputation because he was meant to he was meant to
Okay,
make
so
it
what's
seem
the
like Roach was
problem?
supposed. Yeah, so that's when Tucson was saying, "Oh, he's taking a tough fight." No, he's the
But
favorite.
Oh my
what
You
god.
see what I'm
she's
saying? He's
saying
the
is, listen
favorite.
to what she's saying. What she's saying is a lot of fighters wouldn't do that. A lot of fighters would
Exactly.
move on.
A
That's what
lot of
she's
fighters
saying.
move on.
Hit
Yeah, a lot
Shakur.
of fighters would move on. They wouldn't even fuck with Lamar Roach no more. I'm done with that dude.
What?
I'm gonna fight somebody
Wait, wait,
else.
wait, 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 wait. Shakur beat Dos Santos. That's what he wants
Hold
to say.
on, y'all.
Bro,
Hold on.
Yeah.
The panel
So
not open.
Yeah, that's a
Mr.
different. That's
Shelton,
a
go ahead.
different.
Go
yeah, you
That's a
ahead.
can't use
different.
that.
Go ahead.
Go
When people
ahead,
are winning
Mr. Shelton.
unanimously, it doesn't matter.
All right, Mr. Shelton, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
I respect the dude for taking the rematch. I really do. Because, like I said, a lot of fighters would be like, I'm not messing with that dude no more. I'm going to fight somebody else. Especially in
Exactly.
David's position because he's the money guy. He can fight whoever he wants.
Exactly.
But he
Exactly.
chose, I gotta straighten this out. That's some Floyd type shit. That's some Ali type shit. That's guys that say I'm the best, and since y'all think this guy really beat me, I got to show you that he can't do it. I respect that. Now I think the guy is really good competition for Davis. I really don't know who's gonna win this fight, but I will be in the house to see it because my daughter wants to go.
All right. Big Dog Willie, thank you for joining us on the panel. And shout out to Big Dog Willie with the $2 in the super chat. He says Jake Paul versus Tank, November 22nd, Las Vegas, MGM Facts. Shout out Big Dog Willie.
Hello, the panel. How you doing? How you doing, Queen?
What up?
So what I want to
What
say
up,
is,
Willie?
Let me get the super chat.
okay.
Shout out Jab Queen Boxing with the $5 in the super chat. She says Devin fought Ryan. No belts coming off a loss. What is Hacker's point? Shout out Jab Queen Boxing. Go ahead, Big Dog Willie.
Yeah. So in terms of the Roach and Tank fight, Tank has to get his get back. If he wants to do that, it's like he looked he didn't look him. No, I don't want to say that. Roach outsmarted him in the ring. His IQ was higher in that ring, and I don't know, that's experience. But honestly, Roach did something to Tank that Tank couldn't get out of.
Roach outsmarted him how?
In the fight, yeah.
Yeah.
His IQ was higher because
How was his
Tank
IQ
hold
higher when
on,
he
hold
lost?
on, hold on, hold on. What you say?
I'm curious. What makes you
Oh,
think
okay,
that?
okay. I thought you were saying something. No. I mean, he stood up to Tank, his Tank's power, and he traded with Tank, and he did it slickly. He chose the spots to trade with Tank,
So that means
He
his
and
countered him.
higher.
He
huh?
countered him in the pocket.
He
So
what?
that means his IQ was higher.
He countered him in the pocket, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, but nobody else has done that.
So that makes your
Nobody.
IQ higher. What did that have to do with IQ?
Well, if he listen, Peyton Pennies. What I'm trying to say is this: his IQ is higher in that fight.
How?
Tank did. Are you gonna let me finish? Tank
I'm a,
didn't prepare for that fight. Listen, Tank didn't prepare for the fight, expecting that Roach was going to do that.
what the hell do that got to do with IQ?
Okay, never mind. Never mind. Because that's
Because you're not
exactly what
answering the question. Two
I
cent.
just. I
Did
just
he answer
told
the
you.
question,
I just told you.
bro? Do you know what
He
Tank,
IQ
said,
Tank,
is?
could, Tank couldn't solve
yeah,
it.
No,
Tank
so
couldn't solve it.
you're
yeah.
saying that because he was able to counter Tank and nobody else was being able to counter Tank, that
Count Tank and
you
Tank
making
didn't
up
know
this
how to
stuff.
do anything, and Tank didn't know how to do anything with it.
So
Yeah.
that means his
So
IQ, man. This
for that fight, probably so you'll say that.
Hold on. But this what happened though. Shout out to Juke with the 1999 in the super chat. She says, why would a fighter's strategy in the ring be predicted on gambling odds and the ignorance of boxing fans who didn't know Lamont was good? Hacker has the most nonsensical takes on earth. Tank doing what Floyd Money Ward did. Shout out to Juke with the 1999 in the super chat.
I don't even know what that guy's talking about, but hey,
She's
it's what it
saying
is.
what you're saying is making absolutely no sense. That's what she's
It
saying.
makes all the sense.
But
It's all about
hold
something.
on. Let me finish with let me get to ask Big Dog Willie this. So Big Dog Willie, this is what I'm saying, right? You're
Yeah.
saying that because nobody else has been able to stand in the pocket and counter with Tank, that his IQ, that must mean his IQ is
No,
higher.
no, 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 no. I wasn't saying that. No. What I was saying is Tank didn't know how to counter that. Tank didn't know how to get himself out of that. So in that situation, in that fight, what's the name was outboxing him. He was doing better. I'm not saying that Roach overwhelmingly won the fight. I thought he won the fight, but he overwhelmingly won it. But Tank looked vulnerable in a lot of spots.
Okay. Too Rich say Tank ran more than Devin against Roach. What? Tank ran
man,
more than Devin against Roach because
man.
Tank recognized the issue that y'all don't see, but I do. And what is that, Too Rich?
But
Are you okay?
the way Tank won that fight, I mean Roach was able to do well in the fights because he did something different than all the rest of the fight. He didn't attack Tank. He let Tank come to him, and he was able. And since Roach is also fast, like it makes Tank be on the front foot more and make him fight like differently than he normally does. Normally people
Well, let me
attack
ask you
Tank
this, boxing
and then
happen.
Tank
If
catches them. Yeah.
so you just said that Roach made Tank come to him. What
Yeah.
if Tank doesn't go to Roach? How is Roach gonna win the fight?
Well, then it becomes a pure boxing match, and then like people will just fight in spots at that point. That's it. Because one person has to score, so they're gonna fight in spots. I think that will favor Roach a little bit more.
It'll look like the
Tank's
first
out,
4 rounds, he says. It'll look like the
yeah,
first four
like
rounds of the fight.
So Roach will get outboxed him.
Tank's output is low. Tank doesn't have a really very high punch output. He has a very low punch output, so that will probably
Nobody
favor
outboxed
Roach.
any. I don't know what fight you was watching, but nobody outboxed anybody in the first 4 rounds. They
Exactly.
just fucking stood there.
Tank
Yeah,
was outboxing him. Tank was
And,
outboxing him
yeah.
in those first 4 rounds.
No,
but
I,
to
I
say
feel
the
I,
like
nigga was,
Tank fans don't give Roach no credit in that
I
fight.
agree.
Eh,
How are we
huh?
not giving him credit? We having
How
a
we
whole
not giving him credit?
conversation.
You guys always say, "Oh, Tank wasn't himself. Tank didn't do this." It's like, hold on, how you guys like? You
How
guys
is that
don't give him
taking?
credit.
How is that taking credit away from him?
I
No,
just
that's taking
said
credit away
that
from him.
he was able to counter and
That's taking all the
I
credit away
just
from him. That's
said
taking
what are y'all I just said when Tank went on the inside, he was able to counter and catch Tank on the inside. I just said that. How is nobody
no,
not giving him
I would not
credit?
necessarily. I wasn't necessarily talking about you two. I'm just talking about in general. It's always an
Oh no,
excuse.
we not
It's
talking
no.
about
I
in
heard
general right
plenty of
now. We're
excuses.
talking
I'm
about
playing.
the
There was a
match
lot of
in
This,
excuses
general.
this
after
is
that
what I
fight.
saw, Willie.
Who
This is what
says
I
there were a
saw,
lot
Willie.
of
I
excuses
saw
after
that
that fight?
everything. I saw every time Tank answered something, Roach had an answer for everything Tank did. When Tank took
In the
off on him,
pocket.
he come right back. He
When
come
he
right
came
back.
in, when he sat down in the inside, absolutely.
Whenever Tank tried to get off on him,
So
Roach had an answer for him
True
every
Rich
time.
say it's hard for a puncher to beat a pure boxer. So Lamar Roach is a pure boxer?
yeah,
Because
100%.
the only from what everybody's agreeing, the only way Roach was able to get to Tank was when he was in the pocket countering him.
Yeah, but Lamar Roach is pretty much a
I
pure
really
boxer.
don't think
I
Too
don't see.
Rich even
I
knows
don't
the
even know if
hell
he's a
he.
boxer puncher. I think he's a pure boxer.
I don't think anybody
He's not a
on this
pure. He's not
panel
a
right
pure
now
boxer.
can
He's not a
He
Nah,
pure
anybody
he's not
on
boxer.
a
this.
Come on.
boxer. He's not a pure
Hold on,
boxer.
can anybody
Lamar
on this
Roach is
panel?
more of
I
a
don't see him
boxer
as a.
puncher than anything.
Can
I don't see him as
anybody
a
on
boxer
this?
puncher.
Can
I think
anybody
He
Tank
on
is a
this
is
boxer
panel?
puncher.
Can anybody on this panel say that Tank was running in that fight?
I
Who?
don't know. I don't think he was running,
Tank
but
wasn't
Nah,
running.
Tank wasn't running.
yeah.
Where'd he run to?
But
But
He
I
but
think
ran.
that's what Too
Only
Rich
time
is
he
saying.
ran is when he ran to take that knee and get that towel. That's the only time he ran.
But that
That's
was
true.
too. That's what Too Rich is saying. That's what I'm saying. Like
and Tank wasn't really
he
landing
know nothing
either.
about
You know,
boxing.
Tank would throw shots, but he wouldn't be landing. Lamar Roach was just ready. And you guys have to remember one thing: they spar together. They know each other. Whenever you know fighters, is always different. Like
But
if you
all
know
I
somebody,
keep hearing y'all say is that Tank gotta fight him in the pocket for him to have success.
I never said that. I think for Lamar
I didn't
Roach
know. I
gotta
didn't
use the
say
same
that either.
strategy, and then Tank needs to be able to like do something about that strategy.
Yeah,
Because
that's why man. That's why he got man outcuted
yeah,
in the fight. And there's
He
nothing wrong with that. That's nothing wrong with that. Tank needs to figure out
Right.
his. They need to figure it out. There's nothing wrong with him being IQ'd in that fight.
it's
Because
gonna be a
setting
pure
traps
boxing
is not
Tank is
going
match.
to
not
work for
Muhammad
Tank.
Ali. You guys, I don't know why you guys
Yeah.
just because Roach get him that one day doesn't mean he's gonna give him another day.
He
I
probably
think
will
that's
get him
what a
Tank
lot
got
of
another.
to
niggas.
realize that with this guy, setting traps
Lamar
is
Roach
not going to
might beat
work.
him,
You're
man.
not
I
going to be
don't
able to
know.
just. You're not going to be able to just sit back and set traps for this guy. He's not going to fall for it.
That's why
So
he
Tank
gonna
got to
have
do
to
Exactly.
something
move and
different.
box him. He gonna have to move and
Yeah,
box him. That's what we
yeah, he's
saying.
gonna have to box him,
And if Tank
and
moves
his
and box him, because Tank is not a puncher, he's a boxer puncher. Roach is gonna be in trouble. Because what is Roach gonna do? How is he
Yeah,
gonna
no,
don't
How
overcome
do you
necessarily
know
don't
that?
necessarily
You
say
don't.
that.
I
Don't
But
think
see,
necessarily say
here's
that.
the thing. Well,
I
hold
think
on, Hacker. Here's
they're
the thing,
equally
though.
boxers.
You don't know. We really don't know what's in Roach's bag. We don't know what he can do. We didn't think he could do what he did in the first fight. So how do you know what he can do?
I'm going off what we seen. I don't know what he can do. That's why I'm saying, what could he do to overcome it? And
He might be
if
so.
that's a,
He
If
just
it's a
did. He
pure
just
if
did in the
boxing
last
match,
fight. He just did in the last fight. What else do you want him to like? Tank has to
Yeah,
change
he
up.
just
Tank is the one that has to
overcame Tank
change
in
up.
the last fight. So what else? Tank do something
but
else.
big
Maybe
dog
he'll do
Willie,
something else. Who
Watch
knows?
that
it. Watch.
I don't think you hear my question. Yes, Tank will switch some up. That's exactly my question. If Tank boxes like he did, what, the first 4 or 5 rounds of that fight,
he
in which
loses.
Lamar Roach Be quiet,
Tank
Boxing Hacker.
loses.
Which Lamont Roach was not having much success until they started fighting in the pocket and he
Pocket.
was able to counter.
Yeah.
No, Tank will lose if it's a pure boxing match. I don't think he beats Lamont Roach. Tank's
He was
output's too low.
He
beating.
was outboxing him in the
He
first
was
6 rounds
outboxing him
of
in
the
the
fight.
first fight.
I don't know. I think if it's a pure box, I don't see him
It wasn't. It
outboxing.
wasn't. It wasn't like it
It
wasn't
wasn't clear.
significant.
It wasn't a
Like
clear.
he was
Yeah, it
outboxing.
wasn't a
Like
clear win. Yeah, they weren't
yeah,
clear. They
it
weren't
wasn't
clear in
like
the ring.
that.
Yeah, it
It
Man,
definitely
wasn't.
wasn't.
I mean, it wasn't like that.
I done
It wasn't
watched
no
that
clear
fight. This the second
outboxing. Neither
time,
one of them was
bro.
doing shit the first 4 rounds. They was just standing there looking at each other.
Who knows? Maybe they'll rob Lamont Roach again. You know, they'll probably just rob him again.
Now they gonna rob. How the fuck do you get robbed with a draw?
Boxing Hacker, don't come up here saying that stupid shit. We trying to have a regular conversation. Don't do that.
They just ask me how you get robbed of a draw.
Like, come on, bro.
And what I'm trying to say is
That's why I
two
can't
cents
nobody have
and
no real
hey,
conversations with y'all. Y'all be
two
tripping.
cent. Who me?
I'm
I
talking to
mean,
Boxing Hacker.
no,
No.
but two cent. You have to realize one thing, right? Tank Davis is literally like the cash cow for the PBC right now. So like if it's close, they're gonna give it to Tank. They're always, I think they're more likely to give it to Tank.
Boxing Hacker, that goes in any fight. That's just what it is. That's boxing. Why y'all acting
Yeah,
like that's
we're
exclusive
not
to
talking about. We're
No,
not
PBC?
going
no, no,
because that
no,
just
no, no,
opens
no,
We
up.
ain't
no,
even
That
talking
just
no,
about
opens
no,
up
no,
that.
no.
a whole nother can. That opened up a whole nother can of things.
We
We're
not
not trying to
talking
talk
about
about.
that.
No, we're just
I'm
trying to figure
saying,
out. What I'm trying to ask
we
two
just
cents is
go ahead.
you admit that Tank. You admit that Tank has to change something up to mess to get get the victory over Roach. Like
I mean,
it's
when you
going to
mean like he may have to fight a different strategy, what do you mean change something up? Like, yeah, he gonna have
change
to do some
strategy,
different.
different
He's not
strategy. That's
gonna
what I'm
have to
trying to say.
do what yeah, he's not gonna have to. He cannot
Okay,
fight
that's
fighter
all I
for
wanted to know.
fighter.
That's all I wanted to. Yeah, okay, that's all I want to know
Just think about it though. What?
because there's some fans who don't think that. A lot of
But
fans say,
think
"Oh, he
about
was just
this
had a
though.
bad night." It's
He,
like it's not more than a bad night. You
but
know,
this,
don't just say it's a bad night. He has
I
to
mean,
work
he's
on
not gonna
shit.
be able to stand in the pocket and get countered like that. He definitely shouldn't do that. Why would he do that?
and then
That don't
another
make
thing
sense.
was the man only had one sparring partner the entire camp.
Okay,
One sparring partner.
but
Who
Yeah, he
told you
was.
that?
So does that.
that's
So
an
what?
excuse.
That's his
Hey,
It's
fault.
that's an
not. I'm
excuse.
just saying, bro. I'm just saying. If I'm
Who
going
were the
off of what his
headbangers?
performance was, meaning different sparring partners can give you different looks. If
Wait.
you're
He
Okay,
sparring
was
with
the
but
a different
headbangers.
sparring
hey,
partner,
How's he
you
only
get
one
hey,
sparring
different.
partner?
hey, well, this is what
Wait,
I'm trying to say. We don't give people excuses, man. That's an
That's not what.
excuse.
What the? What? How is that an
You just
excuse?
said he don't.
it was
He
so
said he didn't
good.
have. That's an excuse.
How do you have one sparring partner? He was with the headbangers. Them niggas, all them niggas
People,
was his sparring.
damn near every top fighter have multiple sparring partners. What are you talking about?
Where did you hear that from?
That's besides the
He was
point.
with
That's
the
besides the
headbangers.
point. That's
He was
besides the
literally with
point.
the headbangers.
If he
That's
didn't
what we do.
prepare correctly, that's on him. But all I'm saying is we're talking about keys to the victory for both of them the next fight. Keys for victory.
When you want
Now,
sparring
Mr.
DMV, you
Too
go to the
Rich,
headbangers.
Too Rich thinks that Roach wins by boxing. He only has 10 knockouts. So he thinks that Lamont Roach is a better boxer than Tank. I think Tank boxes Lamont Roach, a lot of body work, a lot of hard body shots, and he ends up dropping him in the late rounds. That's how I think the fight's gonna go. The next fight's gonna go.
That's respectable.
Because
That's a
if you
good.
I
watch
want
that
you to
first
win
That's
so
fight,
good.
Shakur can beat him.
if you
I want
watch
I
that
want Tank
first
to
fight,
win
he was
so
really
Shakur can beat
getting
him.
to Lamont
Hey, let her
Roach's
talk. Let
body.
her talk. I just want to hear what she says. Okay. Well, I just
If
missed
you watch
that. I just missed that.
Yeah,
Hey,
after
I
you watch
missed.
the first fight, he was really able to get to Lamont Roach's body. He just didn't do it enough.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah,
also,
That's what I.
I
he
missed
ain't on
all
the
that.
ground too long as well to get
Yeah.
counted.
Yeah, he was in the pocket too long. He was staying in the
Yeah.
pocket, but that's because he was trying to get a knockout,
And that's what I was saying earlier.
or at least that's what I think.
No, he was going for it because you could see
But
anybody
he
that
better stop trying that shit.
And also, he was getting frustrated, and I seen that a lot though too. He was getting frustrated in the middle of the fight because things weren't going his way,
Yeah, I mean, Tank ran in
and
the
I think
second
that was he
round.
was slipping up. He was slipping up, and that's why I said that's why I used the IQ thing. It was the first. It's the well, I would say it's the first time that I seen him get rattled in that way that he couldn't do what he wanted to do. And I think he had some bad performances before by not being lazy and not being focused. But
What
he
bad
was
performance?
huh? Talk about like a
What bad
fight against
performance?
like talking about fight against what's that dude's name? The dude that fought Crawford and got he had a good fight with Crawford.
Oh, Gamboa?
Yeah, he didn't have no focus in that fight. He was all over the
Well,
place.
yeah, that's
Tank
that fight
was.
he didn't make. He probably was
Yeah,
drained. Yeah, I know what you're
yeah.
talking about.
He
Yeah,
wasn't really
he got
focused in that fight. He wasn't focused in what's the fighter with the Mexican dude? I can't think of his name. He knocked him out late, but he was out of breath, and he was looking to the sidelines at Floyd during the fight. He was just not doing shit right.
I
you talking
can't
So
about
say that he
Pedraza?
wasn't focused against
Because he beat
Gamboa,
the
but
break. You talking about Pedraza? Because he beat the
no,
brakes off
not
He's
of him.
talking about
Pedraza, not
Barrios.
Pedraza, not Pedraza. I
He's
can't
talking
think of
about
his name.
Barrios.
But
Barrios.
no,
He
Barrios.
was
No, he
able to
was
beat
focused. He
Barrios.
focused during Barrios. It's not Barrios. It was that. What's his goddamn name?
see Santa Cruz.
No, no, no,
Hector
not
Pitbull.
Leo Santa Cruz. He trapped.
Pitbull.
It was no. It was like it wasn't like a big dude. It was. This is like earlier in his career.
You talking about?
Oh, the guy he slammed on the floor. I know what you're talking about.
I think I know you talking about.
Yeah, ain't nobody know his name though, brother. But
Was
Hey,
it from?
shout out Juke with the
Do it start with an F?
$5 in the super chat. She says, Lamont a pure boxer when he can't punch on the move. Tank won all rounds they boxed and won some
Okay,
of the
see,
rounds
that's his.
in the boxing.
Okay,
How he had no answer. Shout out Juke.
how?
Let me
What are you
tell you,
talking about? How he
man,
had
what
no
the hell?
answer?
What's Juke talking about?
Juke be busting y'all across the head and y'all don't even be knowing.
Hey,
What do you mean you
What he
can't
did? She said,
box on
"Hey,
the
he has
move?
no." She
big
had no
big
answer. He didn't
hey
have an answer.
big dog Willie, you can't say that you can't say that he wasn't focused.
The fight was a draw.
I'm talking about Jupe and his logic they be coming up here with. She be busting y'all logic across the head.
Hey,
When?
big dog
Where?
Willie, but how can you
Where?
say he wasn't focused?
Hold on, hold on. What you trying to say, Paige?
How can you say he wasn't focused in the Gamboa fight when Gamboa didn't run around?
No, he wasn't focused. Like, did you watch that fight?
He had his weight, bro. He pretty much could do what he wanted to do.
This
If you're
dude look.
not
This
getting the
guy looked.
rounds,
Hold on, hold
how
on.
you're not focused?
Hold on. Did you remember that fight? This guy looked to the sideline and
Yes,
got popped in his head. He wasn't
cool.
paying
But
attention.
was he hurt?
It doesn't matter if he was hurt. He got hit. He wasn't
That's
paying attention.
nigga, you
He
gonna
wasn't.
get hit in a boxing match. I can't
No,
say now
no,
what
no.
I
You didn't
can
watch the whole
what
fight.
I can agree with you
Who
on. If
watched
the
that
nigga
fight?
looking
Who
away,
watched
that
that
shit
fight?
ain't cool.
I
No,
watched
who
the
watched
fight.
that fight? Who
What
watched that
what I
fight?
say,
I
I can
did.
agree with you with him looking away. That's not cool. You shouldn't be doing that. I
But
can
he
agree
did it
with
on
you on that.
multiple occasions. He just got. He did. He wasn't focused. I see him.
How can you not be focused but then still get a knockout?
He got the knockout in the 12th round with somebody with a
How
torn
many times
Achilles.
did he knock them
He
down
could. He
before
could have
that?
got him. He could have got him out of there way sooner.
But how
He
many
went
times did he
12
knock him out
rounds with
before
that
knock him
old
down
ass
before that?
man, Paid. He went 12 rounds with that old ass man who was out of shape. Come on, man. Stop it.
Cool. Devin did the same shit. What are you talking about?
Hold on. We're not getting into this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're talking about the fight, keys to
Come on,
victory.
man.
Juke brought up a good point. How is Lamont Roach a pure boxer when he can't punch and move?
So
Who's,
Somebody
when
nobody
he
said
can't
tell
he said.
punch
me.
and move,
Nobody said it was a
what is
pure
it? I don't
boxer.
even
Who's
know what
saying
that
that?
means.
No.
So
T Rich said that. T
I
Rich
said
said
that.
that.
I
And
said that.
Boxing Hacker.
Yeah, I said that.
Go ahead, Hacker. Go ahead.
So what?
Talk.
So he is a pure boxer. So why do he's a pure boxer? Because he does all the boxing fundamentals when he's there, when he's boxing. When you watch his fights, a boxer puncher boxes until they can get somebody out there and they start going haywire. That's really what a boxer puncher is. You know, a pure boxer sticks to fundamentals all the way through the game. Like you look at Shakur, he's a pure boxer. Like he never forget, no matter how the person is, he always starts with his fundamentals.
He looks
When you look,
nothing like Shakur.
I didn't
Shakur
say he was like.
slicker. Shakur.
I
Hold on,
never
but that's
Know
said
what
not.
you're
But
talking about.
Devin and
they can
Shakur
fight
are pure
differently.
boxers.
Y'all really let him finish.
Wait, wait, wait,
Listen,
wait, wait,
Okay.
wait, wait.
listen, y'all.
They can fight.
Hold on, Boxing
Yeah,
Hacker. Let me help you out real quick. Listen, y'all. When Boxing Hacker talking, just let him finish, and then we're gonna go move on. Go ahead, Boxing Hacker.
yeah, they can have totally different styles, but they can both still be pure boxers. You know, just like boxer punchers can have totally different styles, but they can both be boxer punchers, and just like punchers as well. It's just their approach to the fight. Like Lamar Roach to me looks more of a pure. He looks more of a pure boxer to me. Yeah, I don't know
So,
why
all right.
whether like he
Shout
doesn't
out,
box and
Teach.
move. It doesn't make any sense.
All right. Shout out, Teach on the panel. What up, Teach? What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yo, 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 salute to the panel. So this is my 2 cents, right? I mean, you got to give Tank respect for taking the rematch, especially since he was, heavily favored, like going into the first fight. A lot of people need to realize that the first fight was actually close and competitive. So it's not like Roach dominated or washed Tank, right? So that didn't happen. But personally, I just had Roach winning. And I mean, I gotta emphasize this, man. Like, I was the only one who actually broke down the keys to victory for Roach on KO's live stream, and Roach pretty much executed just like I expected. Um, I mean, all he did was, study Tank's tendencies and pretty much neutralize them, and that's all he did. He didn't do anything special. Um, yeah, I mean, he offset what Tank usually does, like with just good adjustments, pretty much. When Tank kind of mentioned that the rematch could have happened like in May, I was like immediately like, nah, he's not gonna beat Roach if it's like a quick turnaround like that. Cause it's like he clearly needed more time to build chemistry with like a new trainer. But with the fight in August, I mean, I think he has enough time to do that, like build chemistry with whoever's gonna train him. But I mean, again, the best solution for me is pretty much if he had like Calvin and Kenny back in his corner. I think he needs them because I mean they have been with him since day one, and I don't know what's the reason why he changed it, but he definitely needs to go back to those guys and make them like his head trainer, in my opinion. But I mean, with the fight being in August, it's a pretty much a close fight on paper, man. So Tank could win, Roach could win. We can just see how it goes.
Who is the new trainer?
All right.
I don't even know.
Only God knows that one.
Nobody knows.
But Bill Haney said first, though. Bill Haney said that Coach Calvin wasn't going to be his head
Oh
trainer.
no,
Everybody was
he
here on
training
Bill.
with
Oh,
uh
shout out. Okay, listen. If Coach Calvin and Kenny not his trainer, then maybe that'll have to be something he has to overcome for the rematch. We don't know.
But people,
They were saying Calvin and Kenny wasn't gonna be his trainer last time, and they was in the corner. So you just don't know. Shout out Rich on the panel. What up, Rich?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
And Juke, hit the link. Come on the panel. I see everybody in the chat. Y'all got me up here with Boxing Hacker, Big Dog Willie, Mr. Shelton, and Teach, and y'all all in the comment section watching us get jumped up here. Go ahead, Rich. What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Man, I'm just gonna slide in, but I'm happy to see this rematch. That's all. I'm happy to see it, man. I want to see it. I think this time I had Lamont Roach winning the last fight. Actually, bet on that shit, but this time I think it's gonna be really 60-40. I think Tank might edge out. It just depends, you know what I'm saying? But I'm happy to see this. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that shit happened.
I pray
Man,
Tank
I
All
wins,
right.
kind
man.
of, I kind of think
Hey,
Let
Two
Tank
Cents
win,
has this.
let Shakur win, and let Shakur beat Tank. That would be the perfect ending. That's what I want. I
But
want
but
Tank to.
but but
QKC
but then
says Coach Cunningham is working with Tank.
All right.
So he
Yeah,
working with Coach Cunningham, which is people
You
yeah.
got
somebody he's
Kevin
worked with
That's
Cunningham.
who I
before.
meant to
If
say
that's
two
still
cents.
not, I don't think that's a good idea to switch trainers like that. I don't like it. I still don't like it.
He ain't
But
I wish
he
he'd go back to Calvin. I wish he'd
Two
go
he
back to
Cents.
Barry
Calvin.
Hunter, Barry Hunter, and Coach Cunningham, he's always worked with them
So, so Two
throughout his
Cents.
career.
I gotta
Just
say this.
Coach Kenny's been the main
hold on,
couple
y'all.
trainers.
Jupe, I can see you in the background, but it says you need to connect your mic and your camera before I can add you to the screen.
I
Mr.
gotta
Shelton,
say.
you got that weird feedback. I gotta mute you. Go ahead, Teach.
Yeah, I gotta say this, Two Cents, because I think you kind of have it backwards. So with Tank already can box. So Tank can box, right? His issue is the way he starts. So Tank has to start fast in this fight
that's
because
true. That's true.
most of his fight has been so slow that he just waits to the end to pick it up and like hoping for a knockout. So the boxing ability is already there. He just got to start fast, and that's his issue.
Hey, Teach, I have to say this though. A lot of great boxers start off slow though. That's one thing I know is they feeling shit out, but I feel like he already know him now, so I feel like it's not gonna really
Right.
start off that slow.
Yeah.
How we think it's gonna start off. It might do because they might. You never know. Lamont Roach, even though y'all think he not that skilled, he got some shit up in his tank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
So
he did
it might be something different too for
yeah.
Lamont Roach. So it all depends on how Lamont Roach come out. Lamont Roach thinking he coming out doing the same thing. I think Tank gonna have a field day, but Lamont Roach switch it up or whatever, depending on how he his you know what I'm saying training camp go or whatever he do.
I mean,
Then
I watched Lamont Roach fights before this fight.
yeah,
I was already following Lamont Roach. I was actually supposed to interview Lamont Roach when I first started my channel because I knew somebody that knew him and was in the gym with him, but it didn't end up happening. But boy, that interview would have aged real well. But I don't see him being able to do anything different. I felt like when I watched him fight Tank, I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that from him. Like that might have been the best performance I've seen him ever have. Now he could get better, but I don't know. I just don't see it happening like that.
I, I don't even think he
And
needs to get better.
I feel like Tank is more versatile and fights Tank have way more different ways to beat Roach, in my opinion, than Roach has to beat Tank. And I think a lot of Roach winning is going to be dependent on how Tank decides to fight.
but let's get this understood. You know how Tank always say, you know how Coach Calvin say nobody brought the dog out of Tank yet. He waiting to see that beast. That's basically you seen all that stuff from Lamont Roach, but no one really brought the dog out of him to, you know what I'm saying, so you could see different. You know what I'm saying? That's what Tank did. He looked good. He looked good facing Tank. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing that's around there. He looked good. He had his mind
But
made
let
up.
me
He knew
ask
what he
y'all
was.
this.
No, I don't. That's what I just said. He looked. That's the best performance I've seen him
Yeah.
have. Yeah, he
So
looked
he going.
good.
He
But
so
let me
he
ask you this, two cents.
so
What
basically.
happens when you hit a motherfucker with your best shit and they don't go nowhere?
You hit him again with it.
Hit him again.
That's what
Nah,
That's what boxing got.
you
He
gonna
had
be
that,
like,
that dude
hey,
again, man.
Sheldon,
that's why he got
You gonna
that
you gonna be
faster
like,
trigger all around.
Hey, Sheldon, you gonna be like, damn, this motherfucker. What now? What I'm gonna do?
I'm
Nah,
telling y'all, Tank gonna go in there.
ain't the
Exactly.
last drink,
He
Now
You
gonna
what
be
bro.
do
like,
go
I
hey,
in
this
there.
do?
bitch ass.
Y'all
Hey,
gonna
you
be
be
like,
like
he
this
got the
bitch.
glow.
You be
Ain't
like
nobody
this
gotta do
bitch
that.
ass
You gotta keep
nigga,
hitting him,
man. This bitch ass nigga think he like.
man. It
He
be
I
like
gonna
mean,
that
do.
sometimes. You gotta
He
throw
gonna
Shelton,
some
go in there.
punches.
He gonna do a lot of body work that next fight. He gonna stop him in the late rounds. He's gonna destroy his body the same way he did Frank
He
Martin.
better
Y'all
do
remember how he
something
did Frank
because the
Martin?
shit he did the
He
first fight didn't work.
destroyed Frank Martin's body. Frank
Nah,
Martin couldn't even move no more. He got caught up in that corner. He
I don't think
destroyed Frank
But
Martin's
this
body.
ain't Frank Martin. This ain't Frank
I
Martin.
know. I know it's not. I didn't say that.
I don't think
And
Lamar Roach has to do anything different though. I think Tank has to do something different. I think Tank. It
we
depends how
just
Tank
been
approaches.
saying that's exactly what we've been saying, boxing hacker. You ain't
that's
I
what
listening.
think
that's.
y'all. I
Hey,
thought y'all said
boxer.
he had to.
Hey,
I
box
don't think
hacker.
he has to.
That's
Yeah.
why that's why I said Tank. If Lamont don't do nothing different, then Tank gonna come out not you know what I'm saying procrastinating on none of that shit. He gonna already know he gonna finish off. That's gonna be like the 13th round, 14th round. You know what
You
I'm
never,
saying?
yeah, but you never know, man. Like I said, it's always different when you find somebody you know. It's always a different feel. Like
Yeah,
it depends how those sparring matches used to go. It depends how you guys competition
them
used to
spar
go.
them
Like all that
spar
shit
them
plays a part,
them sparring matches. People had head gear on and all that type of stuff. This is
man.
you know what I'm saying. So
Man,
so they still gotta
trust
take
me, it's different.
those. They still gotta take those punches. They still getting hit in their jaw, they head. They getting hit all around. They still
Hey,
gotta
y'all
take
be sure to punch
those
that like
punches.
and subscribe button. Make sure you help support the channel at 2 cents boxing or hit the cash app at at 2 cents boxing or hit the super chat and leave your 2 cents below. Y'all be sure to help support the channel. I don't want to have to put 1,000 commercials on here. But yeah, man, I don't know. I what I really like and what I really enjoy is that this is going to be a fight people feel can go either way, and people have different opinions of it. Like those are the type of fights that you're gonna build an anticipation up to seeing. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you don't know who gonna win. People think this person gonna win. People think this person gonna win, and
Exactly, two
that's
cents.
how the
Exactly.
fans want to feel before a fight. That's you know what I'm saying. That's how that same thing with the Shakur Zapata fight. That this is how the fans want to feel before a fight. This is what we're asking for from our favorite fighters, the anticipation. You know, this is what makes boxing fun and exciting. So I think it's fun and exciting. I I don't know. And like I said, the first fight, I can't. I didn't think Roach was gonna win, but I was like, you can't definitely definitively say Tank gonna knock him out because I thought Tank was going to do more boxing in the fight. I thought he was gonna do more boxing anyway. So when he came out fighting like that, I was like, damn, this fight gonna be slow and boring because this is how he gonna have to fight. And then he went inside the pocket and started exchanging with him and getting countered. And I'm like, damn, maybe he gonna knock him out. And then he wasn't able to knock him out. So the fight went how it went.
Yeah, a lot of fights go high, but a lot of fights be leading up. Tank be doing, Tank be damn near losing, and then he knocked him out. So he
Tank
just,
do
Bro,
not be
it's
damn
not.
near losing.
I
Rich,
say
stop it.
I never said
Now,
like he definitely lose. I'm saying like with the scorecards, he don't be really that much up before he knocks
Yeah,
somebody
he'll
out.
be
Yes,
that
he
much.
do.
He don't
Yes, he
at
do.
all. And so that's
Yes, he
so
do.
so two
so
cents. What
I
happens?
be
so
giving Tank rounds
So
too,
what
though.
happens if he
Yo,
loses? What happens
Lamont
if he
Roach.
they be
loses?
giving.
Wait,
It's
Lamont
a
What
Roach.
you mean? What
rematch.
Lamont
happened?
Lamont Roach said it best. He said if he let him get off all them rounds on me, then he basically skating to that 12th round and winning. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like Tank can't
But
really.
but you can but in that fight though, Lamont was the one that wasn't doing shit the first
Yeah,
half
the
of the
first.
fight.
Yeah, he really
Neither
he
one of
was
them was
doing
doing
something.
shit. Why you keep saying
Both
that? Neither one of them was doing shit.
he
Both
was
of
doing
them,
something
like,
the first half of the fight, but he wasn't
yeah,
doing. It was back and forth for real, man. It
I
wasn't
wish we
really
could.
both of
I
like the
wish we
whole
could
six
review
rounds. He
that
lost
fight on here together.
whole 6 rounds. You got Tank just up on every round. Nah,
I
it
swear
wasn't
to
like
God, if
that.
this
we
is
watched that fight live, motherfuckers wouldn't be able to give Lamont more than
this
5 rounds, bro.
this is the way that I saw the
I
first
just
half.
thought Lamar was won the fight.
This is the
I
way
know
I
that.
saw the first half, right? Both of those guys wasn't really doing anything, right?
Yeah,
But Lamont did something where you had to give him most of the early rounds, and he was pressuring Tank, plus throwing more
He
punches.
was not pressuring
He
Tank.
was, he was walking Tank back.
Bro, they had him
Bro,
losing the first six rounds.
Tank was using his lateral. Hello.
You good, 2 Cent?
Oh, hold on, Coach Eddie. Shout out, Coach Eddie on the panel. Shout out, Juke on the panel.
Hey,
Hold on,
salute
y'all. What
everyone. What's happening?
up?
What's going on, Juke?
It's good.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Coach Eddie, what's your two cents on that too?
Yeah, I just hear y'all think y'all rehashing the Tank Davis Lamont Roach fight. That correct?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, when I first watched the fight, I thought Lamont won the fight. To be honest, I ain't gonna front. I don't really got a dog in the race. I thought he won the fight. When I rewatched it, I thought he won it again. So, I mean, it was a close fight. You know what I'm saying? Tank, in my opinion, I think Tank fought in that fight. He fought a little tentative. He was cautious. He was leery. It's kind of like when you've been in the ring with somebody and you know that they got a little more than the other people you've been in the ring with. You can go leery, and he fought that way. And
Yep.
Tank he backed up a lot in that fight. He was a little moving a lot. He wasn't moving nowhere near like a Devin Haney or nothing like that, but he was very cautious. He was very aware that he had a very formidable opponent in front of him, and he fought like he did. And like I say, I thought Lamont, I thought he won the fight. It was pretty clear to me. It wasn't up for debate. It wasn't. I mean, I thought Lamont won the fight. I
Dang.
mean, that's just my opinion.
Of course, man. I mean,
All
gonna say,
right, Juke, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show, Juke?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So just real quick. So this is I'm just gonna break down how I saw the fight. The first round I think that was the main round. I thought nothing really happened. I think rounds 2 through 6 I gave through Tank. I gave the Tank that was mostly just boxing. I feel like he did really well on the back foot, moving, slipping. And then I think I gave him rounds 2 through 6, the ninth round, and the 11th. I don't see a scenario where Lamont got more than 5 rounds. I mean, I don't really barely five.
Exactly.
To me, the first round could have went either way. But I definitely thought that Tank won. I get that some rounds can be give or take. So, I mean, the draw wasn't extremely upset with, but I think it was a good fight that was just competitive. And I think people are just putting a little extra sauce on a lot of this. Like, oh, he couldn't come up with this. And oh my God, he did. I mean, Tank said himself, Lamont can fight. And I think he said that he was actually going to be more of a challenge than people thought. And I think that people just didn't believe him. And so it comes true, and now they're like, "Oh my God, he couldn't figure this out. He didn't have I think they're just putting a lot of sauce on it because it's Tank. But that's what we want, competitive fights. I think that going forward in the rematch, we'll have to make some small adjustments, but the adjustments I think he needs to make are adding things that he's done before, like the feints. Like I don't think I remember him feigning at all. Like he didn't feints. He didn't set up some of the punches. He kind of does well. He's really good at getting his opponents to go into a particular direction to kind of set up the punch. And those are the punches that you don't see coming that tends to hurt you. But Lamont is a really, really good opponent, and they know each other very well. And I think that I said it on KO's channel in the chat. I think this is going to be a really close fight. So I don't think the adjustments he needs to make are like something extreme. I think that he needs to do more feigning. I think he does need to box more. I think he can take the fight to him. Kind of, he likes to make things exciting, and that's what he's a showman. But I think what he does, he just needs to do a little bit more. I feel like he was kind of being a little lackadaisical. He kind of got into like a pattern of like a little predictability. But I think that the adjustments he needs to make are not something like overwhelming to win the fight. Because I think that I thought he won it, but it was close. But I just think people are just way too much sauce on it.
Agreed. That was a good breakdown.
So this is why I
Hold
got
on,
this.
we got Tony. Tony, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yeah, Tank fans sound nice, but let's go to reality. 6 of the 12 rounds, Tank was outlanded. And 2 of the 12 rounds, they landed the same amount of punches. So that's 8 rounds right there up for grab for Roach, okay? If you want to be generous and give Tank the 2 rounds that were draw rounds and give him the other 4 rounds, cool. Now you got 66 what the judges had. Here's a problem. Even when you want to be the most generous to Tank, here's the issue. He bowed to the king. He took a knee to the throne. He saw that crown, that man get off that golden chair, and he bowed to him, put his head down. Guess what? He lost the fight. I don't care what you say, how you want to chop it up, how you want to dice it. If you want to go back to Texas in the 2 days, chop and screw it. I don't care what you do. He lost the fight. And that's being absolutely generous. I'm not done. I know it makes no blood.
No, not to cut you off, but we not gonna stir that pot with that conversation. We was talking about the rematch.
I'm talking about a rematch.
Whoa!
Wait. See, this is what I don't understand. You just let Juke give a whole breakdown of the fight, but because I say what I say, now we're not doing that.
But she was putting it towards the fight that's coming up.
Yeah, I'm putting it towards the fight. I'm getting to a point. Because I have to put it all in a box with a bow on it.
Finish it up.
Here's what it's coming down to. He bowed to the king. He took that knee. You know what he said? Hair grease. The only adjustment Tank can make in this fight is not to put hair grease in his head. That's what he's got to do. Because if he doesn't do it, then he'll take another 2 knees. Look, at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. The only adjustment Tank can make is not put a head in his head. The dude fights the same way in every single fight. He's super economical.
Okay,
he watches you. I mean, you can say what you want, paid in full. I know you're getting upset.
Come on, land your plane.
You're gonna go rip that poster off your wall. You're so mad. How dare you make fun of Tank? Rip the poster off. Anyway,
I don't got no posters or no man.
I digress. As I was saying, look, again, I will repeat since I keep getting interjected on. The only adjustment Tank can make is not to put hair grease in his hair. Outside of that, he fights the same way in every single fight. He's super economical. He doesn't let his hands go. He's very accurate, but he doesn't let his hands go. So the only one that needs to change up is Lamont Roach. Be more active. Work off the jab more. outland him more than you did the first time. Because for the first 4 to 5 rounds, he's not going to let his hands go. So just pile it up on him. Even if you get tired, take 2 or 3 rounds off and then just put it back on him when you get your second win. You can
Okay,
outgun him
okay.
early. That's all you got to do.
You
Get
know,
so far ahead, he can't catch up and they can't rob you again. Although
Lamar
they're going to
fight
try.
off front foot. What are you
What?
talking about?
Hold on, let him finish, Paige. Let him finish. Go ahead, Tony.
Again, that's what I say. Lamont is the only one that needs to switch things up as far as Tank Davis goes and all the drama around his camp and him switching up coaches. What does that mean? That means absolutely nothing. Just because you bring in a new coach doesn't mean you forget how to box. You got all them years of experience. It's not going to cause you to lose to a C-level fighter. So at the end of the day, like I said, Roach is the only one that needs to do
Wow.
adjustments.
How
We've
is he
seen it before.
ever
Let me
fight?
finish. I'm about to land right here. We've seen it before. We've seen it before. Normally in rematches where guys have the win of their life, they normally don't win in the rematch. But hey, maybe Lamont Roach can break that trend and disrupt history. But history says Tank should win.
All right. Shout
How
out Ray
ever
Davis.
fight?
I respond to one thing that he said. You mind?
Go ahead with you.
Okay, I just want to say, well, first of all, she let me talk because she's being courteous. This is my first time on a panel. Okay, so just be a little nice. Okay, you're being a little. I felt the shot through, but in any rate, also I was really just talking about boxing. I wasn't trying to troll or anything like that. I'm a Lamont Roach fan too. I like Lamont. I was rooting for Lamont when he fought Hector. But what you just said is actually funny because I feel like I think that's what you're saying. I hope that he does do that if you want Tank to win because Lamont going forward actually would help because when he was coming forward and Tank was boxing in the beginning, that's when Tank was doing his best work, right? Because Lamont is not really great with starting the action. He's more of a counter puncher, similar to Tank, but he can't box on the move as well as Tank. So if he starts active much quicker, that's just going to open up more opportunities for Tank. So I hope he does follow your advice and do that.
No, Ray Davis. What's your 2
So
cents? What you got for the show?
so
I'm gonna
she
What up?
let you
What
go,
up?
Tony.
What up? What up?
I'm
Yeah,
Ray.
what up?
I'm let you
Yo, so y'all
go
can hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
You
you.
can hear
go
me?
ahead, brother.
So I want to say like I kind of like disagree a little bit. I think Javante has to stay away from Roach a little bit. Maybe get more on the back foot for the reason that Lamont was smothering him. A lot of people don't realize that he was smothering a lot of Tank's punches. He kept
Facts.
close distance, so Tank couldn't get 100% accuracy on him. So that made it made Tank literally, who's used to starting slow, have to speed up his advantages in the ring. And being that Tank is also a short armed person, I'm not, you know what I mean, his reach is not like long like other fighters. It kind of helped him, but also it didn't allow him to get the knockout and set up the knockouts the way he would like to. So that right there is a prime example of what Tank does need to work on and how to keep that distance and keep his measurements on Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach was actually in a smart game plan by smothering Tank and staying close so he couldn't get set up with nothing big, enable him to do the counters himself instead of Tank doing the counters. The fight could have went either way. I'm not going to call it how everybody see it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say Tank won, Lamont won. It was a draw. Fight's over. I don't even care about what happened then. It's what happens next. Um, I, I do believe if Tank goes in with the same game plan, Lamont could stop him. Yes, I did say stop him. I heard somebody say he only had 10 knockouts, but he can because the fact that Tank was not expecting that, and Tank doesn't seem like he has his mind in the game. He's always talking about retirement. He's talking about fighting YouTubers. He's talking about getting mental health checks and things of that nature. Doesn't seem like he's straight. But if he's back and he's the guy that we know he can be, then I got Tank winning. You know what I mean? Easy. And hopefully he uses his counters and he steps off the back foot and boxes a little bit instead of letting Lamont smother his punches and getting in there.
Great breakdown,
all
bro.
right, all right. So can I respond to Juke who said my name?
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
So first and foremost, Juke, the only reason why I said your name is because 2 Cents interrupted me and I said you gave a breakdown of the first fight. It had nothing to do with you being a troll or anything like that. That's the only reason why your name was mentioned. Secondly, I do agree with you. I hope Tank tries to catch Lamont on the back foot because you know what we learned from the first fight? Tank can't hurt him, but Roach can hurt him because he wobbled that ass 3 different times and not once did
What
Tank
3
hurt him.
different times,
Not
Tony?
once did he hurt him.
He
So
did.
I hope
Tank got hurt several
I,
times in that fight.
I
He's correct.
hope, I hope Juke Tank listens to you because what he's going to end up doing again is taking another knee.
So,
Actually, then you didn't.
God damn.
Let me respond to that really quickly because then you probably didn't hear me. I think you're responding to something I didn't say. Um, what I said was that I said I hope Roach takes your approach because I wasn't saying that Tank needs to go forward more and put. I said nothing about Roach being on the back foot, nothing at all. I was saying that your advice to Roach would help Tank, because when in the beginning the rounds that Tank won the majority of were the ones where he was boxing when Roach was trying to be a little bit more active, trying to start the action, and Tank was acting more as a counter puncher. And he wasn't, it was just more boxing and Tank just boxed around. And I think, and you're so far saying, oh, he can't hurt Roach. I think there was a moment where I thought that Roach was buzzed a little bit, but that's just my opinion. You said that Tank was buzzed multiple times. That might be a part of your imagination. I think maybe once is possible, but I don't think that that's true. I think any fighter can hurt any fighter. That's just my personal belief. I'm not one of these people who be like, oh no, this person, but feather fisted, whatever. But I do think that if Roach tries to get more active, start fast, because you said that Tank doesn't throw a lot of punches. He's economical, which he is. That Lamont needs to get a little bit more aggressive. I'm saying Tank will use his aggression against him. And I think that's what will happen, but that's just my opinion. So I never said anything about him being more aggressive, pushing Lamont back. So just want to clarify that.
Yeah, to clarify, you talking about Tank being on the back foot. That's what I was talking about, not Roach being aggressive, which I think he should be. Furthermore, on all three judges' scorecards, Lamont Roach won the first 3 out of the first 4 rounds. So you're wrong where you say Tank was winning early and Lamont was boxing. Literally, he won 1 round out of the first 4, which means he was down 3-1 going into the 5th round when Lamont was doing more boxing, like I said he should do. Furthermore, you're also wrong where you said you maybe saw Tank get buzzed once. He was knocked off balance twice. He was doing the stanky leg once. So, yes, he got hurt multiple times in that fight to the point of where he took a knee.
Okay,
He
so
did not take a knee
let
because
me
he was
respond
hurt.
again
So
then,
you need to
because
stop
one,
it.
being knocked off balance does not equal hurt. Number one. Number two, I'm not wrong because I'm not talking about the judges' scorecard. I'm breaking down the fight from my perspective, just like you guys don't agree with the judges that's actually 2 judges had it for Tank to win overall. You disagree with the judges, right? So does that mean that you're wrong? I'm giving my opinion on how I judge the fight. I'm not talking about the judges. So let's just make that clear. Let's make that clear. Okay, I judge the fight differently. Because if that's the case, then we should stop saying that Lamont won then, and he should have won because no judge said that Lamont won that fight. Not one.
Yeah.
No, they did not. Not one.
2 of the
So
judges
we're
said
not
it was a
talking about
draw.
the judges' scorecard.
Two
I didn't
of the
interrupt you, sir. I did not interrupt you, did I? I was very respectful. Please give me the same courtesy. So all I'm saying is that I'm going based on mine. And then you're saying, oh, he was hurt multiple times. I did not see that. I think that he probably got hit. He took a really, really good punch. And I saw him kind of get a little, I think one punch probably did wobble Tank. I think a punch from Tank wobbled Lamont. Getting knocked off balance doesn't mean hurt. So I'm not wrong.
Thank
Okay.
you.
My bad for
Again, you're
interrupting you.
interrupting me again. I understand you're a little excited, but let's just calm down.
You
It's just
paused
a
for 30
steroid.
seconds.
Yeah, you
You
paused.
didn't talk for 30
talking.
seconds. You just
Yeah, she's like, she stops talking and she's like, you interrupted me.
Yeah, like she stops, pauses, I talk, then
All
I
right, let's
interrupt
make
her.
sure. Jupe, you
I was
finished?
wrong.
Land the plane.
No,
Land your
I'm
plane,
done
Jupe.
now. I'm done.
All right. Tony, you
So
got a rebuttal?
yeah, I'll rebuttal with this. First and foremost, you do pause, and then I talk, and then you keep talking. So if you felt like I interjected and went over you, my bad. I'm sorry for that. I did not mean to jump over you. I thought you were done. So they paid in full the second time you paused because we both started talking. Now I will say this, coming back full circle to the judges, you're wrong. 2 of the judges had it 6 rounds to 6 rounds. That's why it ended up a majority draw. So if we're going off the judges' scorecards, they had it a draw. Here's the issue. The $1 million thing, the elephant in the room. You can't get around the knee. So in a 6-6, if there is a knockdown, which it should have been with the knee, that means Tank loses.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, I have a
we're
great
going
rebuttal on
official.
that
We're
one
going
then,
on
because if you want to
official.
talk about rules, actually, no, because, and that's another thing that I meant to rebut also, that the 9th round where he took the knee, there is no angle that shows that punch actually ever landed. And that's another thing too. If you read the rules, NSAC's rules, It is
Can we
by
stop,
judges.
y'all?
It's by the
Good
judge.
gracious. Can
Excuse
we
me.
stop,
Go
please?
ahead, let her
Yeah,
finish.
yeah,
Go ahead,
please,
Juke.
Coach Eddie.
It is by referee's discretion. He could have fine Tank. He could have warrant Tank. There are multiple things you can do. I've been watching boxing I don't want to date myself, but I've been watching boxing a very long time. I've seen straight out brawls break out and no one get fined or disqualified, what have you. Also, it says that in order for it to be a knockdown, it has to be caused by a punch. The referee has to believe that it was caused by a punch. I disagree with it.
No, that's not
That's not
true.
true.
Can I
Incorrect.
That's
can I
You
tap in? Can
cannot
I
I didn't take
tap?
a
punch
Let me
pause
anyone.
tap
yet.
in.
that's
I didn't
not
take a
true.
Hold on.
pause.
Let me tap. Hold
I
on.
didn't take
Let
a
me tap
pause.
in real quick to you, Queen.
I didn't take a pause. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ray. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Ray.
Yeah. So just for the
We
facts,
gonna we
okay.
gonna wrap up this
And
whole knee thing. We gonna wrap it
so
up. Go
yeah,
ahead.
the WBA specifically. I don't care about anybody else's rules or anything. Even the president came out and said whoever wrote that little passage for the WBA was not true. The WBA strictly says if someone voluntarily takes a knee, is an 8 count automatically. Stop right there. There's no referee discretion, nothing ever in their rule book, and you can go look it up yourself. It does not say that. Now,
Okay,
But
there have
that's
been
I know
people
it's
that's
in
what they ruled
there's been
at,
hold
bro.
on, hold on. Let me rock. When that happened, the ref started counting. When he stopped counting, because Tank told him to stop, Lamont Roach screamed, "Why'd you stop counting?" 3 times to the ref. Why'd you stop counting? The ref then checked with Tank and asked him what happened. He said he had something in his eye. He said, I'm supposed to count that as a knockdown. He literally said that to Tank in the corner. It's
But
mic'd up. You
the
can
ref
hear it,
called
and
a
you can hear
timeout
it.
as well, bro.
okay.
Hold on,
That's
where
not
was the
the order.
timeout? Because he
That's
started
not the order.
counting.
Bro, just go back and look at it, bro. He
Okay,
called
Did he
first of
not?
timeout.
all,
No, he did.
yes, you're
He
incorrect.
hold on.
Okay,
They always.
you're
I
incorrect.
want to
Hold
The
see
on.
what.
WBA rules
I
does.
want to.
I have it up. I can pull it up right now. The
Hold up,
WBA rules
Why
Sheriff.
are we defending this guy taking the
and the
doggone knee,
WBA
man? Come
rules
on, what the
was not in
world's
effect.
going on
The
here?
New York State Athletic Commission rules were in effect, not the WBA. However, the WBA rules
What?
also don't state that
Who's the sanction? Hold on, time out.
the president can give his opinion, but that is not a rule, and it's not in NSAC rules either. Also, that's an incorrect
Who's
sequence of events because the first
the
thing the referee
WBA is not the sanctioning body?
the first
The
thing,
WBA is
no,
not. Who's the
it's
sanctioning
INSEC.
body?
It's INSEC. It's INSEC.
Was
No, in
it?
this
Hold
case,
on, but was
The
it?
but
New
it's
Year.
not. But
Is it a champion?
no,
Time out, Queen,
the WBA
Queen, calm
rules.
down, Queen,
But hold
But
on,
relax,
calm
wait,
listen,
down
wait.
because
Let me
you're
ask y'all this.
because
Let me
it's
ask you this,
it's a
Ray.
sanction, it's a sanctioned fight.
It,
Real quick,
it,
Queen, let me just step. It's a sanctioned fight by the WBA. It's a championship fight, so therefore the sanction has the right to the rules. So it's a WBA rule, and both of them are
but it's not.
WBA champions.
But
It
it's
doesn't
not.
matter
All
who.
right, look,
It's
Okay,
not
all right,
written
I'm
in
good.
the
Go
hold
ahead,
rules.
on.
Queen.
Hey, can
Go
hey,
ahead.
hey,
It's not a rule.
can I
Let me
say
say
Hey,
something
this.
hey,
though?
hey,
Hey,
hey
Hold on,
we
hey,
just
hey,
we just gotta let him. We gotta let him have the knee. We
Let
gotta
me
let
say
him
this.
have it.
hey, hey,
Y'all
Juke.
got the knee. Y'all got
Hey,
it. Y'all can defend
nah,
that
I
however
want to
y'all
Okay,
say
want
this.
to.
I
put
want to
Y'all
say
When
got
the
this.
it.
rule,
Hey,
literally
hold
Juke.
I'm
on,
honest.
let me finish. When the ruling came out, I thought the New York State Athletic Commission said that they backing the ref because it's to his discretion. That's what I thought that they
They
said,
did
right?
That's what they
No,
said.
they
No,
said it should have been
that's not
ruled
what
a
they said.
knockdown. They said it
They
should have
said
been
it should
ruled a
have
But
been
it's
knockdown.
at
Thank
the
you,
That's
ref's
Now
what they
listen,
said.
They
discretion,
said they
bro.
ruled a
thank
knockdown.
you, Two
But they
Cent.
Hey,
couldn't
Juke.
change it.
so
Hey,
let
hey,
me say
hey,
Because
hey,
this,
guess
two
who
cent.
made the final
y'all.
decision? The
Hey,
It's
WBA
two
didn't
almost
cent.
have
time.
the
It's
WBA didn't make
almost
the final
7.
decision.
I'm
It's
gonna I'm gonna let Rich go, and then we're gonna go through the panel. Let everybody get their final 2 cents off, y'all. It's almost 7. It was a great panel today. Great discussion. I'll be back again Tuesday at 10:30 for 2 cents after dark. Y'all make sure y'all come back and we can finish up. Rich, go ahead. What you got?
I just want to ask Juke this one question, right? Because I hear defending Tank a lot. I hear all y'all defending Tank a lot, but what do y'all say about a ref who counts and then stop counting? Like, how could you defend that? So
um
that's wait, hold on. Is that a rule too? You could start counting and then just stop counting. That's a
I mean,
rule.
what
No, I just want to know.
I'm
I
so
want to know.
happy.
I really want to know because I know you
I'm
could
gonna
take back.
answer. I'll answer because you
I
direct
really,
this is me.
I know you could take back like this damn don't rule that as a knockdown or whatever after all that stuff. But who does? I never seen that someone count and then they just stop counting. They literally on they counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they just the whole count went away. The mysterious went away.
Great. I'm so happy you asked me that because you know why? Why the count shouldn't even, based on INSAC rules, why the count shouldn't even matter? Because the first thing he did before he counted was call a timeout. You can't do a count in a timeout.
No, you're wrong.
He
You're
never
wrong. He didn't
No,
called
call a
he
timeout.
timeout.
called
He
a
No,
started.
I'm
timeout.
just
He
going. I'm
started
just going. I'm
counting.
just.
Let
You're
me
I'm
ask
wrong.
you
just.
a
Right
question.
Hey,
Why
now,
do
he
you
started
interject
counting
in
hey,
That's
between?
not
immediately.
hey,
true.
hey,
That's not true
hey,
at
hey.
all.
Can I talk?
He
Wait.
called
Can
a
I say something
timeout.
back?
No,
He
Now,
he
called
what
a
you talking
timeout.
no.
about,
He
Jew?
Can
started
I just
counting and
can
then
I
he
just
called
explain?
timeout.
That is
Can
not the
This is
hey,
the
point.
thing, y'all. But time out. This is the
So he
thing why
asked
I
me
don't
a question,
understand
didn't know
why
how
y'all.
to answer it.
can I
Yeah.
say
I know
something real
because you're
quick?
giving the
Hold
wrong
on.
answer. You're
I,
wrong.
I
Jew,
gotta end the
Jew,
show. If y'all want y'all final
you
two
rubbing
cents,
it the wrong way.
y'all gotta let me end the show because the bottom line is they said it should have been a knockout, but it's at the ref's discretion. That's what the New York State Athletic Commission
And
came out and said, y'all.
can I
Thank
So
you,
and
I
can
two
I
don't know
cents.
what
And
hey
you
y'all
can
know
I
why? Because
can
the
I say something?
WBA
That's
could not
not
make
what
a
they
Wait,
said.
decision.
hey
It
Jew,
was in the it
hey,
was with
hey,
INSAT,
wait,
and
hold on.
INSAT
Can I
rules
say
don't
something?
state what Ray said earlier. It
Can
doesn't.
I
I
say
don't know what
Neither
y'all
can
does
I
the
want.
WBA.
Like
can I
we're
say
so
something real
past
quick?
that.
Can I say
This the
something?
last thing, and then I'm gonna let you get your final 2 cents off, Rich. Go ahead and say whatever you got to
I'm
say.
still gonna say the same thing. I understand that whatever y'all say about these rules, but at the end of the day, the nigga counted. That's all I'm trying to say. And if you can't accept that, admit to that, man, then you just a biased person about boxing, man. You just on his side. Cause you know if it was anyone else that you don't like, y'all would say the same shit. Y'all wouldn't be defending this shit like y'all doing Tank right now, man. Come on, y'all gotta start just you know what I'm saying, being more open to shit, man. For real. That shit's sad.
No, I
For
don't think
real.
anyone's
It's
defending
it's sad.
anything.
It's
We're just
sad.
Nobody's
It's
stating what's
sad,
defending
man.
him.
happened.
I'm just telling you what they
It's
said. I'm
sad.
not defending
Right, we're
him.
not defending anything. I'm stating what happened, and it was a timeout. The first action
That
was
yeah.
a timeout. You can't call a timeout and then say, "Oh, nope, I changed my mind," because he didn't
I
start
don't think he
counting.
called a timeout
But he
first.
didn't. He didn't call a timeout
A
first. He
timeout
started
first.
Yes,
counting
he
He
did.
started
first.
counting,
Yes,
then
he
he
All
called a
did.
right.
timeout.
Hey, hey,
Y'all
hey,
went over
really
it.
Rich,
Went
fast.
over that
Rich,
I'm
footage
watching
yes,
the
he
video.
did.
He
I'm
sent
watching
he
the
sent
video.
Lamont
all right.
he
You
sent
know what?
Lamont
Let
to
me
the
tell you what
corner. He
happened.
sent Lamont to
No,
the corner.
look.
He
Hey,
started
Ray, I'm
counting.
looking
Called
at the
his
video. I'm
Time
looking
timeout.
at
out,
the
y'all.
video. I'm looking at the video
Watch the
right
street.
now.
Time out,
Let me tell
y'all. Time out, y'all. Time out, y'all. Time out. Too rich. Rich, is that your final 2 cents?
Yeah, that's my final 2 cents.
All right, all right, all right. Boxing hacker, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yo, salute to you too, Sen. It was a wild conversation. I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, so when it comes to the ref's discretion, you're right. The ref has discretion of what's a knee and what's a knockdown, what's not a knockdown. However, the ref did make a decision, so that's the part of it that's being skipped over. He started counting, so at that point in time, he made a decision, and then he changed the decision mid-tier based on what the fighter said, which is something where we've never really seen happen before. And when we talk about discretion, he chooses discretion the first time, but the fighter made him stop counting. The fighter literally said, "Hey, stop counting. It wasn't what you think, you know." So I don't know why we're even talking about it. So it's sort of a weird conversation. You know, at the end of
Yeah,
the
I
day,
agree.
I mean, it wasn't counted. And when it comes to what the New York State Athletic Commission said, they know that it was a knockdown. The reason why they cannot reverse it is based on something that the effect of what KO said, that basically if the Tank knew that it was a knockdown, he may have approached the fight differently. So, you know, alternate dimension, alternate reality, maybe like the fight would have been different if he knew there was a knockdown. So they don't want to reverse it because it wouldn't be fair based on that, you know. As far as the
Hmm.
rematch, I mean, I definitely want to see it. I want to see. I do want, and counter to what people believe, I want Roach. I mean, salute to Roach. If he works on it, he wins, man. Salute to that brother. He's a good fighter. But I do want Tank to win only on the fact because I want Shakur to win. And I want Shakur to beat him because I know that one will cut a little bit deeper for the Tankamaniacs. You know, but with that, I'm out, man. Salute to the panel in the chat.
All right, boxing hacker. Coach Eddie, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna mention the knee. I'm just gonna move straight to the rematch because we all seen what happened. You know, it is what it is. People on both sides of the argument. Uh, I think the rematch. I'm going with Roach in the rematch. I think when you watch that fight, it's a physical size difference. Lamont looked like he's from another weight class, even though he's coming up. He looked superiorly. He looked physically dominant over Tank. He looked stronger than Tank. His punches had more effect than Tank's. He backed Tank up, and Tank was very apprehensive. Just look at it as fighter A and fighter B. Don't look at it as your favorite fighter or, as a fan. Look at it as fighter A, fighter B. And that's the best way to look at things, that you can be objective like that. Like William Skull, fighter A, fighter B. I thought Skull won. If you ask any judge, if they didn't know it was Canelo, it's fighter A, fighter B, they would say the white guy ain't doing nothing because Canelo's like a white dude. That's what they would say. But since he's Canelo, they're just gonna let it slide. But like I said, I thought Lamont won the Roach. I scored an 8-round to 4. It was pretty. I didn't see no scenario where Tank won the fight. I thought Lamont did enough to win the fight, but it made for a good rematch. That's my 2 cents.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you, Coach Eddie, for coming up.
Hey,
Big
let
Dog
me get
Willie,
in
what you
here.
got? What you got for the show?
Yeah, I just wanted to say the first about the knee is done and over with. I think what some of the Tank fans are missing is I think they said that it's up to the discretion, but the ref had made a mistake, and I think it was, and I think that's just basically what happened. The ref made a mistake in what he did,
Hmm.
but it's not, but it wasn't like he hit him and dude dropped. He went to his knee and couldn't get up.
Right.
It was just he Tank made a bonehead move by taking a knee, and his excuse was even worse. So, and I think that's why more people get upset because he did get away with it, but it doesn't matter. So this next fight with Roach and the second fight, I'm really interested in watching this fight. I want to see the adjustments that me and you and everybody on the panel was talking about. I want to see adjustments from both sides, especially from Roach's side. I kind of have a feeling Tank is going to do the same thing, box a little bit, then try put Roach in a trap and to knock him out. In the last fight, it didn't work because, like Rich was saying, uh, never mind. You guys,
You out here? All right, Big Dog Willie. Guess he got a phone call. Uh, Tony reviews. What's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yeah, we're gonna add some truth to all of this. First and foremost, the New York State Athletic Commission said that it should have been a knockdown. The only reason why they're not going to reverse the call is because they were having technical issues, and the replay was not available to the referee to reverse the call to be a knockdown. So, therefore, they're going to let it stand. That is why it was not ruled a knockdown. Literally, the president of the New York State Athletic Commission said it should have been a knockdown, but they're leaning on the no replay as a technical issue. And in the future, they will make sure that a technical issue does not happen again. Go read about it. Furthermore, this is what I will say. I don't believe Tank can do anything different. Tank fights the same way in every fight. And
That is cap. Tony,
Lamont
stop.
is the one that needs to make adjustments. He needs to make it not as close of a fight. And if it gets into the pocket, Lamont should be confident enough to know that he can take what Tank has, but Tank can't take what he has because he wobbled him on 3 different occasions. So I think Lamont needs to take the fight more to him. He needs to let his hands go more. He can be a little less cautious because he knows he can take Tank's best punches. And he knows for somebody who's supposed to be a dog, he put quit in him. So beat on that quit. That's how Lamont wins. If he comes in there apprehensive, doesn't do what he's supposed to do, doesn't continue like it's the 13th round and starts over brand new like he's never been in the ring, then he'll probably lose. But again, I will end where I began. History tells us when upsets happen and the underdog wins in the immediate rematches, normally the favorites come back and they set it right. Normally they win. So Tank is probably going to win the fight. That was probably Lamont's best night. And those best nights are normally for people who aren't like all stars are just sparks in a pan. And I think that's what it probably will be. It's just that flash that you see, and then it ignites very quickly. So I think more than likely Tank should win. Outside of that, Juke, it was good going back and forth with you. Welcome to the panel. Come on board. And then outside of that, that's really all I got. 2 cents.
All right, shout out Tony's reviews. Tony will come on here capping and then sum it all up what I think Tank gonna win the fight. This guy's hilarious. Jude, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's my first time, so this is really
Thank you for coming up.
thank you, no problem. I think that well, I just want to just say, like, I think it kind of sucks that like you can have a different opinion, and they're like, oh, it's because you're a Tank fan and you're a Tank maniac, and it's because,
Yeah, that's just
and
clumsy.
meanwhile, it's the people who are telling us that we're biased are the people who are like, adding the extra stuff and like I haven't said anything objective. I mean, anything bad about Roach or anything. I actually like Roach. I'm a fan of Shakur. I'm a fan of a lot of fighters. So it's just crazy that it's like all I stated was, and I'm not defending anything. I just want to state that I think it's really just about the fact that it is what it is. And if you go look at it again, the first thing the ref did, and I hate to even go over anything, we only went over it because they keep bringing it up, but it's because the ref absolutely did do a timeout. And actually, he didn't start counting until Roach said something. So I know it's like, oh, we never saw where a fighter said something and the ref changed it. It actually wasn't Tank who said anything first because he was still in the corner getting his eye wiped. It was when he was with Lamont, then he went over and started counting. So if you really look at the sequence of events, but it doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, New York State Athletic Commission ruled it is judges' discretion. They also said in their ruling they stuck with what they didn't want to reverse what the referee did because he's the one in the ring with them. I think it's going to be to me it's one of my favorite fights of the year, and I think that the rematch is going to be even better, hopefully. And I really, I like Tank, but I'm not like I'm old school. I really don't care about you got to keep your O and be undefeated. If he lose, he lose, But I think he'll come back and win it. And I'm just looking forward to that. But other than that, that's all I have. That was my 2 cents.
All right, Jupe, thank you for coming up. First time on the panel. You did an excellent job coming up here with your great objective points, being able to go back and forth. Ray Davis, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Listen, I actually like the Tankamania thing. Y'all should definitely run with that. That's dope. Anyway, you know what I mean? It's running wild. That's what Tankamania should do. But as far as the fight that happened, it was a draw. It's in the record books as a draw. It's on paper as a draw. I don't care about anything that happened then, there, or back then. It's cool. I'm past it. I moved past it. The fight was in February. I'm looking forward to the next fight. I think Tank actually gets himself together. I think Lamont Roach will look to do the same and find himself actually in a different situation. If he does apply pressure, I think Tank will box more off the back foot and set him up with certain punches. I do think Tank gets this win, whether it's by knockout or decision. Tank will win this fight. Lamont's been on his press tour, and I think that right there is a valid confidence of himself. Of he believes he can win, but you never know. It's boxing, right? Anything can happen. One punch changes it all. So on that, I'm just on the future of the fight. You know what I mean? May the best man win. And thank you for having me up here, 2 cents as usual. Teach, salute my brother. I ain't hear much from you, but salute as usual, my brother. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Shout
All
out to
right,
the
Ray,
panel
thank you
in the
for
chat.
coming up. Thank you for coming up. Appreciate you. Teach, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
All right, thank you for having us up, 2 cents. So we got three important fights that are coming up, man, and like I want the main characters to win pretty much. We got the Shakur fight, we got the Keyshawn fight, and we got the Tank fight. So each one of those guys got to win to see, how the division goes, because I'm just hoping for unifications at this point. With the whole Zepeda fight with Shakur, on paper, obviously that's gonna be Shakur's hardest fight, because we know like Zepeda he's explosive. He throws a lot of punches from different angles. I mean, he's unorthodox with some weird rhythm. And he's gonna make Shakur, think a little bit more in that fight, right? So Shakur is gonna just have to adjust to whatever Zepeda brings in. That said, again, obviously I got Shakur. Shakur's IQ, his footwork, I think his ability to control distance. I think all that is just gonna, offset what Zepeda wants to do, and he pretty much win this fight. With the Lamont Roach and Hank fight, again, in my opinion, I think Tank and Roach already did 12 rounds in the pro, so Tank doesn't really have to download anything at this point. So he got to go in there, start faster. Um, I like what Jupe said about throwing feints. Like he has to throw feints in there. He kind of has to make his style like a little bit more unpredictable. Because Jupe said it. Lamont was pretty much going off of Tank's rhythm, right? Whatever Tank threw, he countered or whatever. So Lamont was going off of Tank. Um, the way Roach win this, I mean, he pretty much has to do the same thing. Try to predict what Tank is going to do and capitalize. With this whole Keyshawn and Santos fight, man, Santos is a live dog, man. Like, I don't know why people think he's not going to do good. I know he's been inactive. I know he had some, health health
Because
issues.
he's been out the ring, teach. Like
Yeah,
he couldn't even like train because he had blood clots. So he's literally been out the ring. So I think that's my major concern.
but I mean, with the whole Santos thing, I mean, I just gotta say the dude can fight, and I don't think any of that is gonna that go away that quickly. I think he still has it in him, the skills. Obviously, he's still gonna have the power. Um, just gotta see how he executes. To me, it's a 50-50 fight. So Keyshawn better not take him lightly. Um, Anybody could win the fight. So I'm looking for all three guys to come out victorious, and we need some unification. Like in the end. I don't care if Shakur has to fight Keyshawn. Like I said it before, I don't care. I want those guys to fight. Like if I wanted the Charlo brothers to fight, I definitely want Shakur and Keyshawn to fight. Um, and I want Tank to fight.
Why would you want the Charlo brothers to fight, Teach? Shout out
Mm,
KQKC Boxing Network. He says, great live, 2 cents boxing, first time here. Make sure you come back, KQKC. I'm live Sundays, 5 to 7 p.m., Tuesday nights at 10:30 p.m., and Fridays starting at 6:30 p.m. But go ahead, Teach, finish up.
Yeah, back in the day when they were in the same weight class, it was a hot topic, man. Like people wanted them to fight, including me. So that would have been a great fight if it would have happened, man. But yeah, that's about it, man. Hope Tank goes out there, gets the victory, Keyshawn as well, and Shakur as well. And we'll see what happens.
All right, Teach, thank you for closing us out tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Everybody that supported in the Cash App or supported in the Super Chat. Thank you. Your support is greatly appreciated. And always thank you to the people that supported by listening or simply dropping your 2 cents in the chat. And definitely appreciate everybody we had on the panel today. We definitely had a different mix of people up there today. It was a very interesting panel, very interesting conversation, and a very serious conversation about the Lamont Roach Tank Davis rematch, and what are the keys to victory for each fighter. And I'm going to probably talk about this on my next live because I want to get people talking. I want to hear what people got to say. I want to have a record of what people are saying so we can go back and review after the fight. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great build up to the fight because everybody's anticipating it. Nobody definitively feel like this fighter gonna win or this fighter gonna win. Some people think Lamont Roach just might have Tank number, and some people think Tank just wasn't on his game last fight. But be sure to join me again Tuesday night at 10:30 p.m. for 2 cents after dark. If you're listening to the replay, be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to drop a super thanks. And listen, if you don't want your host all in the videos, cussing you out, kicking you off the panel, timing you out the chat, leaving you in the background, come on over to 2 cents boxing, where we talk everything boxing and everybody's entitled to their own opinion.